Today, I'm taking a break from traveling and I'm going to act like a kid in a candy shop as my girlfriend and I are attending Destination Defender. And what is that, might you ask? It's a huge 3-day event for Defender owners and Land Rover enthusiasts. And lucky for me, this happened to be almost in my backyard and being only an hour away from where I live. And being a Defender owner and a huge lover of its heritage, I can't wait to see the hundreds of Defenders that will be in attendance from all over the country and some all over the world. And this 3-day event takes place in Cedar Lakes Estate in Port Jervis, New York by the border of PA. It bolsters 500 acres, which has many different camping experiences of glamping, homes that you can rent on the lake, and a ton of other activities that has been featured on Forbes magazine and Vogue, just to name a few. We only got a day pass, which I wish we actually spent overnight, but because of that, we didn't get VIP treatment and we had to park all the way in the back, but they do have golf carts just in case you need a ride. And it was absolutely amazing to see how many glamping tents were up and how many Defenders that came tricked out with tents that were fixed to the roof or that were connected to their tailgates. It really was a paradise for Defender owners like myself and people who just love Land Rovers in itself. And the crazy part, it was hard to believe that all of these glamping tents were sold out. And it was really cool to see how family-oriented this 3-day event was. They had so many different activities, as you can see here for kids, for example. They had little mini Defenders that you could ride in a circle that were for kids and even adults that one day might want one.
A quiet laugh, the softest breeze, the world's at peace in moments like these. I sip my coffee, feel the warmth.
One of the busiest and most popular things to do here was to actually take a Defender out on a rocky course with a trained Land Rover Defender specialist to show the potential of how these cars can handle off-road in the craziest of conditions in the woods. The lines were really long, just so you know, and you had to sign up, and normally they're around $300 to $400 to do one of these, but here you could do it for free. But since I already had one and I've taken mine off-road, I didn't feel like I needed to take one, so we just passed on it. And many of you might think, when they see this video, why in the heck do you want to look at 200 plus cars that look the same? Well, the fun part about being an enthusiast is that they come in so many different colors, tricked out with different accessories, and you can really appreciate this fraternity and sorority, for that matter, of people that want to share their stories with their car. And without boring you into detail, this is their flagship Defender, which is called the Octa, and it rivals any G-Wagon on the market, and this bad boy will set you back $160K. And inside this beautiful building, it normally hosts weddings and other events. They had brought up some really cool old school Defenders, some safari Defenders from the North American Land Rover headquarters, which ironically is only like an hour away from where Destination Defender is here in Port Jervis. And yes, if this green Defender here looks familiar, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II was a huge fan of Defenders and had many, particularly at her summer home in Scotland. And it was just really cool to see these different Defenders, these special edition ones that you normally never see at all. And if you're hungry, they have it covered. Between chicken sandwiches, truffle fries, salads, it was a little pricey, but then again, you got to remember, you're also at a luxury enthusiast event. But the ambiance was awesome. And in reality, these pictures and videos in this short video I'm showing you doesn't do any justice. We were blessed with a beautiful day with amazing weather, and the atmosphere was so chill and everyone was just so nice. Between the kids playing, people playing cornhole, they had 2 bars open if you wanted to enjoy a drink. They had a good amount of seating with Adirondack chairs to enjoy the spring lake breeze. They even had complimentary canoeing and kayaking if you wanted to, and it was such a beautiful day to do so. And they even had live bands that were playing on a schedule that you could download on the Destination Defender app to see when they're playing, who was playing, and it was really cool because it echoed throughout the entire state. And they even had this bougie high-end dinner that they were prepping for tonight. And I could tell you that I looked it up and I want to say it was around $200 a plate. But this ambiance and setting was to die for. But I just wasn't prepared or ready to spend that kind of money on dinner. But to me, the best spot of the entire place, besides the lake breeze hitting you, was here. My girlfriend and I were told by a couple from Philadelphia that there was a beer and wine truck off the beaten path overlooking the beautiful Pennsylvania mountains. And this was one of my favorite spots of the entire state. And to have a guitarist that literally sounded and looked like Prince was the icing on the cake. So I grabbed a few drinks and just chilled and enjoyed the scenery. So I'm showing you this part of the video. It's called the Chef's Garden, and it's sponsored by the Big Green Egg, and they do a lot of cool dinners and lunches. But I had no idea what this was or what it was about. Apparently it's a high-end way of barbecuing, and while I was walking, I got a call from a UK number. So I ignored it, thinking it was spam. But the voicemail said I won the raffle of a Big Green Egg barbecue kit with a bunch of accessories. So I went to the area where they told me, and I was shocked when I was the one who won the raffle out of I don't know how many hundreds of people who attended this event this weekend. And what was even more mind-blowing is that between the barbecue and all the accessories, it was like over $1,400. So I made sure I took advantage and barbecued as soon as I got home or shortly thereafter. And as we took our golf cart ride back with my winnings, I was reminiscing of how much of an amazing weekend could be packed in just one day. I met some amazing people, I shared a lot of laughs, and Gene and I will have so many memories of a lifetime, all wrapped up in just one day. But I think next year we'll spend at least an overnight to enjoy all the festivities and make new friends with Defender owners. And as I was going through the glamping areas and also the camping areas, I just can't get over how everyone was super nice. Everyone was friendly. People were waving. I actually stopped a bunch of times and were talking to people, talking about their camping experiences, their Defenders, and what kind of setup they have. Everyone was just overtly nice, and it was really nice to see being part of that community. And it really just exemplified of Land Rover Defender owners and what they're about, and just everyone coming together for the weekend just to have a great time and to experience just great weather and a lot of laughter. And this is Passport Planet. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon.